You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. We're so lucky I was able to get Coach Pete Jenkins to join us today because I wanted Coach Pete to come on and talk about Bo Davis, who he's Bo Davis's mentor, and Coach Pete is the greatest defensive line coach ever. And, of course, the work that he did at LSU this year. And then sometimes in life, timing works. 10 minutes ago, if you have not yet heard the news, a bombshell in not just college football, all of sports. Chris Lowe of ESPN, the first to report it. Nick Saban is retiring. His time at Alabama, his time as a college football coach is over. And I don't know, quite honestly, if there's a soul, like literally anybody in my Rolodex that I would rather call at this moment than Coach Pete Jenkins. So the Lord was watching over me in this show in this moment by having Coach Pete come on right now. Hey, Coach Pete, thanks as always for the time. How are you?
Stunned. Matt.
Yes, sir.
I'm stunned. Coach Saban, I just don't know what to say. Wow. I would have never guessed that.
You and I talked earlier today, and we were talking just a lot about how the game has changed and portal and NIL stuff. How much do you think, knowing Nick the way you do, that those factors might have weighed into this decision at this time?
This is my opinion, Matt. It's the only negative thing he's ever done. I was with him in training camp, okay, and then I came back to LSU. So I talked to him on the morning that Coach Kelly called me and offered me the job. I talked to Coach Saban that morning. But because of football season, I have not spoken with him since the morning I took that job, October the 1st. Now, I would say this to you, Matt. The NIL and the portal has really been hard on him at this point in his life. And I would say this, I think unless there's something that none of us know about, which would be a health issue or something like that, not that there is something like it, but I would say other than that, the problems with NIL and portal and everything are the things that he was most concerned about in college football. I mean, deeply concerned, not just about Alabama, not just about his program, but concerned about it in relation to college football. Yes, it deeply concerned him. Listen,
yeah, please.
He is a commitment man. He commits himself. He expects. He wants. He's a program builder. He's a culture builder, and it's really tough right now to do that. It's really tough. You know, one of the things when he went to Miami, when he'd been an assistant in pro football, there was no free agency. Okay? And I think, I know because he's told me free agency is what drove him back to college. And he is a guy that the culture, the commitment, all of those things. See, that's changed a great deal in the last couple of years since we went into the NIL era, in the portal era, and things like that. So, if there's nothing that we don't know about that's unknown, like I said, like a health issue or whatever that we don't know about, and I talked to Freddie Roach this week, who is his D-line coach, and Freddie and I talking. He didn't even indicate anything like this to me. And I text with a coordinator today, a young coordinator who wants that job over at Alabama, and he texted me today that he was talking with Coach Saban. He wanted me to call Coach Saban for him, and I told him I would. So I think I'm rocking along here thinking that I'm going to the University of Alabama in a couple of weeks to spend a week with their football staff. I had no idea. But, you know, wherever I travel, I don't care if it's a young guy or an old guy, wherever I travel, coaches are really upset about what's happening in the game. And I'm talking about the NIL. And you and I had a long conversation about this earlier today. And I told you, I said, you know, it has a tremendous effect on the game as we know it, and it has a tremendous effect on coaches. So I was at one SEC school last year. I won't mention the name. And the head coach comes in and tells me, he says, my phone is blowing up. I know why. But he comes in and tells me, he said, I just had an appointment with a defensive end. He told me the guy's name. And I was familiar with his number. And he said, he told me he wanted more money. And he said, I looked at the kid and told him, I said, you're not even a starter. How can you be in here wanting more money? And the kid took his name off of the team text. That he looked at the thread, and the kid had already taken his name off. All right. And then the coach looked at me and he said, Pete, here's the bad news. I got 2 appointments later today with two players. So he was anticipating them asking the same thing, Matt. It's hard. It's really hard. And I'm so happy that I wasn't in it. During I didn't deal with this. You know, I coached last year, but I didn't deal with this. And I'm glad I didn't, because I'm like Coach Saban. You know, I'm a commit. I'm either I'm with you 100% or I ain't with you. And it's just, it hurts you to think about a guy. I coached 2 kids this year in bowl preparation who put their name in the portal. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I hope I didn't. I hope I was kind enough to them that I didn't hurt their feelings or whatever. But I looked at them through a different set of eyes once I knew they wanted to leave LSU. They're both young kids. They were depth guys. We don't have much depth at LSU. I told Bo that last night. There's not a lot of depth in that room. So I'm just blown away. I'm sorry. I know I'm not a very good interviewer right now. I'm knocked to my knees. I really am.
Coach,
I'm sad because we lost a great one and a great advocate for the game of football in this country. You know, I made a statement. They did an article about Coach Saban and myself, and I made a statement in there. Ford Motor Company hired him. They'd produce a better car. If he's president of the United States, we'd have a better country. That's just the way the man is. I mean, he is. I'm sorry. He's such a special human being. He really is. And once you scratch that surface, he's unbelievable. He really is. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, Coach Pete. That's this. I mean, it's real emotion. It's incredible. So I thank you for being candid with us. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.